Cystic fibrosis is a disease that impacts not just the patient, but the entire family. This year, we wanted to celebrate and profile a CF family and how they not just cope, but live and thrive despite the disease. We found the perfect family within the Crandall Foundation Circle, willing to share how this disease has affected 2 generations of their family. Many of you know Tommy Potanovic. He's a radiology tech at Albany Med and one of the best spokesmen for the Crandall Foundation. Tommy grew up in a family of 6 children, 3 of whom had CF. Bobby, the oldest, Tommy, and Timmy, the baby of the family. Bobby and Timmy have now passed away. On a weekend this fall, we brought some of the family together to talk about how CF affected their lives. On this retreat were Eddie, Tommy's brother, and KC, the only girl. But there's more to this family, much more. We also had Tommy's cousins, Mary and Maureen, and their mother, Fran. Why the cousins and Fran? Well, Tommy's mother, Harriet, and Fran were identical twins, and they did everything together. They made sure they lived close to each other. They even had children close together. Perhaps Eddie sums it up best.
Besides being identical twins, you had 6 children. My mom had 6 children. You had 5 girls and 1 boy, and my mom had 5 boys and 1 girl. So my mom had Bobby, who was the firstborn, Ray.
Right.
Then Casey, the only girl. Then myself, and then Tommy, and then Timmy.
Right, yeah. Harriet and I, we just couldn't be separated. And that's what made all of you the same, that it's like, you guys can't be separated. You're like, I don't know, 12 years brothers and sisters.
These twin sisters even bought a vacation house together.
Wait, Ma, how did we wind up Hobart House?
Oh, well, how do you take all those kids on a vacation at the same time or even afford it? So you buy a house in the country. It was Bobby's choice.
It was Bobby's choice?
It was Bobby's choice.
I gave it to be Bobby's choice. The place was really in bad shape.
I didn't know this. I didn't either.
So, yeah, so we just walked in and kind of, we looked at one another, buy this? And so I said, well, let's give it, let's let Bobby decide. And Bobby decided, yeah.
What did Bobby like about it?
The country and all the, the scenery around.
It's gorgeous.
And he knew his dad could fix everything up.
Aww. And he could, he was right. He did a good job.
Yeah.
But what about Mary?
He was able to do everything.
Was I there? Did Mary have a say in it?
Bobby had the biggest say, sorry.
Oh, sorry. You had no say.
Mary, you were SOL.
Life was busy and hectic for the Potanovic and Wellington gang. No one realized the family medical history was about to change forever.
And Fran, when did you first find out, or we first find out about cystic fibrosis in the family?
When Tommy was born. Yeah, he had the Macumi Amelis, and he needed surgery when he was like 3 days old. So Dr. Anderson called your dad, and he called me to see if your mom should be woken up, and I said yeah. And but I didn't know what that meant. None of us knew what it meant because he had the Macumi. So they said it was the first sign of CF.
Okay.
And so then everyone got tested. Everyone was okay but Bobby. He was 9 at the time.
9 years old.
Yeah, it was February the 12th of 1968 that he was actually diagnosed. And he wasn't good with it at all. It was very, very hard for him to accept. And even Mary and them being together all the time.
It's hard on Mary too?
Oh yeah, yeah. She didn't want him in the Miss tent. Bobby wanted no part of the Miss tent, and because Bobby didn't want it, Mary said it's not going to be, and it was a big emotional adjustment for them.
Yeah.
And how did they adjust?
I was 3 when my parents we all found out really, and then it was kind of like you were brought up with it, so it was not a surprise for me as much as it would be for like Ray and Bobby or Mary and Teresa. So I kind of just grew up with it, and I seen the strains that, you know, were put on the family from it.
We kind of just lived with it.
Yeah.
It was part of our life.
I mean, you
Right.
stepped in where Mommy couldn't help us out because she was in the hospital with Bobby or Tommy. So it was a lot.
It's kind of just the way we lived, though.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't look at it as...
You don't realize it at the time, but you're...
To us, it was normal.
Exactly.
It was our normal.
It was normal.
Yeah.
It was like, how did they do it?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I saw Mommy cleaning like the oxygen tent, and I was like, oh, what a chore.
There was no Donna Crandall Foundation to help when the boys were small. The burden of care for the 3 boys fell directly on the family.
I remember saving money any which way we could.
Hand-me-downs were a normal routine for us, for Tommy and I.
I can remember taking a vacation and spending it going back and forth to the hospital to see Bobby.
Yes.
Traveling back and forth with the tolls, and then just the food. And Mommy, thank God, Mommy only ate peanut butter, you know, her scoops of peanut butter.
And peanut butter on the spoon.
Well, you know what they used to say? She got most of her sleep on the road. That's how much traveling she did.
I can remember him calling Mommy up at 3 o'clock in the morning for underwear. He had no clean underwear. And there was none at home. She had to go to the store
Yeah.
and buy underwear, and she brought it up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I remember when she had to stay at the rectory
Yes.
sometimes.
Yep.
Yep.
And with Father Bentley. But we could see the difference between the way Tommy stays over in the hospital and the support that he has from Donna Crandall.
Donna Crandall Foundation is like family to me.
Yeah.
When Tommy's in the hospital, it's like a warm hug. He's getting a warm hug. If it's not from me, it's from Donna Crandall
But
Foundation.
they take a lot off of your plate.
Yeah.
Like, think
mean-
about it. Us traveling back and forth to Albany, delivering things that they didn't have.
Yeah.
Like what Bobby would remember when he
Absolutely.
needed the underwear.
Yeah.
If you had that, like Donna Crandall, you could just, you wouldn't even ask.
Yeah.
They would just know.
Yeah.
Donna
Little things
Crandall
that-
was available then.
You don't normally think about that come into play. You know, the foundation
It
steps
would have been
in and
amazing.
covers
It would have been amazing.
It's great.
It
Thank them
means
enough.
the world to the family members, to the CF patients, and we can't thank them enough because it just lightens our hearts to know that it makes our families' lives a little bit easier.
Just
So
talking
fun.
to Tommy, you realize how important
And
it is.
even the family room, you can sit back and relax with your family. You can hang out with
Yes.
your family. You can love your family. And that time is so important when you're sick.
I was just saying to Lisa last night that I could just picture your mom hugging Donna, thanking her for all that she's given, so
Yep.
they could have, Tommy could have what he has now.
Oh, I'm sure.
Tommy's family is still very close to him, but now his wife, Mary, is involved in his day-to-day care. And how does she view cystic fibrosis?
If you don't have cystic fibrosis or you don't know someone with cystic fibrosis, you can't imagine all the energy that goes into just trying to stay alive every day. He doesn't let that dictate his life. He does what he wants, when he wants, how he wants. He is the most outgoing person. He exhausts me sometimes with his energy. And I don't know where he gets it because we have a really crazy life built around this disease almost. We work hard to not allow it to control us, but it does take a lot of our time. Now, when Tom was growing up, I can't even imagine how his mother, she had to have been a saint to take care of 3 kids who were chronically ill, as well as all the rest of the brood coming and going, and she would drive long hours to come and see any of the kids, help them out when they were at Albany Med. They're in Yonkers. She would go to work, go to the hospital, stay till the kids fell asleep, go back down to Yonkers, go back to work, come back with whatever they might need. My drive is a half hour from our house to Albany Med, and there's nights I leave the hospital and I am absolutely exhausted.
And how does the Donna Crandall Foundation help the patient? and the patient's family?
The Crandall Foundation gives you all those little things that you don't know you need until they show up with them. You know, just little things like the gift bags are so amazing with little products like real Kleenex, not hospital Kleenex, a deck of cards to keep yourself busy. If he doesn't like the hospital food, that there's a Subway gift card.
And what can you who are watching this tonight, do for the Donna Crandall Foundation?
Remember when you're bidding that it's not just that trip or that sporting event. It's your donation to help a family help hundreds of other families. It's not a canvas gift bag. It's not the $20 Subway gift card that's in that canvas gift bag. Donna was blessed to have a wonderful, caring family who helped her. It's a hard disease, and if you don't have extended family to help you, the foundation is one person, one group of people, one family who helps so many others who would have nothing. It's important to give. So please, give as much as you can.